Hello everybody, welcome back to this video. And in this story I'm going to be reading a story, and it's called Don't Go Back. And it's by Helen Anderson. Don't go back. Trevor was up early that day, just like he was every other morning. He threw on his high Visa's shirt and long blue work pants. You know, the type with the yellow reflection stripes around the bottom. His heeled cap boots were stained with the undeniable evidence of hard work. The logo on his shirt read Thomas Constructions. After brushing his teeth, he crept silently into the kids' room and planted a loving kiss on their foreheads as they sleep. I waited in the kitchen wearing my dress-grown slippers. My unbrushed hair and was tangled mess. In my left hand held out his coffee. In my right, his lunchbox. Trevor pulled me close to him and threw his arms around me and squeezed me tight as our lips met. I love you, Hannah. I'll see you when I get home. I love you too. I'll be waiting, I said. Don't worry, this is not my story. These stories are a surprise to me as much as it is to you guys. I love being a stay-at-home mom. Thankfully, I didn't need to go to work. We had more than enough money just for Trevor's wage. Life wasn't exciting, but we were very comfortable and wanted nothing. Trevor was a real family man. He would spend every square minute of time with the kids and I. Making memories, that's what he called it. Quality time which could never be regained once it had passed. Our family was so happy and carefree. At least that's how it was until Trevor didn't come home from work that day. The date was January 12th, 2014. The day the world as I knew it fell apart. But it was 5 years ago, 3 months and 4 days ago. Obviously, I'm all good now, right? Not exactly. After the so-called grieving period was over, I was expected to function normally once again. The bank accounts had all dried up. Trevor's funeral had taken a large chunk of our savings out. I had to find a job to keep within the rent and our other bills. After every workday, I picked up tired, grumpy, hungry kids. I struggled to keep on top of the general household works too. With every little sleep, it was a battle. I was losing. How is any working mother expected to get all of this done? I asked myself. Most nights I resorted to wine just to help me fall asleep. Those were the times when I missed Trevor. One of those nights, with help from some cheap Merlot, I began to drift off into my wine-induced coma. Trevor, how am I going to keep going? I mumbled to myself. After I had tossed and turned for hours, my alarm clock rudely interrupted my sleep as I announced another workday. I groaned. As I reached over, slammed my head down the off button. Daylight had pushed most of the darkness away. The sun hovered on the horizon. I reluctantly peeled back the covers and slid out of the gree of the day. My pillow had somehow made its way onto the floor during the night. Max, our poodle, had taken advantage of the opportunity of snuggling deeply into the softness. He looked up at me, and I knew it wasn't giving up at the comfiest spot as soon time. The sheets were bunched up in a pile at the front of the bed, and my hair looked like the fastest becoming dreadlocks. Still half asleep, I made it slowly to the bathroom. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of the reflection of the mirror. I turned to face it for a better look. Oh my goodness, who is that? I asked myself. Darkness gray smudge under my eyes were the telltale evidence of the way the evidence of the way to sleep. Little sleep I had. I had my pajamas on back to front and inside out. The pounding in my head was unbearable, made it worse by blinding rays of morning sunlight streaming in through the half-open blinds. I squinted my eyes in and tempted a dull of the brightness. One looked at the kitchen bench top made it feel instantly ill. I carefully pushed aside the empty wine bottles, unwashed dishes, my breakfast in the morning considered 2 headache pills, washed down by a strong black coffee in a mug, and had "Best Mom Ever" printed on the side. Trevor had given it to me when Jacob was born, just over 8 years ago. When the throbbing of a migraine finally began to ease, I went to wake up the kids. Maya was just like an other 6-year-old. She never wanted to get out of bed, but once she was up and renewed energy kicked in, she was full on. Jacob, on the other hand, was always keen to get the other day underway. He bounced out of the bed, skipped into the bathroom. If I only hadn't had that energy, I thought. They were growing up way too fast. It seemed like only a couple years ago that Trevor and I had came out shopping for baby items. Our morning ritual was well rehearsed. Wake, dress, coffee, school drop off, work. Maya was major source full of stress for me each morning. She could never wake up, mind how I should do her hair. Jacob, on the other hand, was fairly laid back. I always tried to have their lunches packed the night before to save myself time. The kids even received their breakfast at school. Such a valuable godsend for working mothers. Our mornings had continued uncharged like for 5 years. When Trevor was here, I used to be a happy, fun person. Now I just went through the motions. I was just the empty, unfeeling shell of who once I was. Instead of enjoying my kids growing up, my life is now filled with traffic jams, work meetings, school pickups, after school activities, takeaway meals, and refilling the washer machine and dishwasher. I even had a robot vacuum cleaner that would go on its business while we slept. Who has time to vacuum the floors these days? The buzzer of life became. The more reliant we were on modern technology, we needed it just to get by. Bought myself a new all-in-one washer machine and dryer. All I had to do was pop the dirty laundry in the morning, press a button. When I arrived home in the evening, clothes were washed and dried and ready to worn again. A future upgrade that would also fold and clean clothes would have been very welcomed. The fridge would tell me that what items I needed to shop for. Then it would order them online and have them home delivered for me, all without me lifting a finger. I never had time to read to the kids or play a game, so Jacob and Maya sought company their iPads. Each day morphed into the next, an endless cycle of sameness. It frequently occurred to me that we needed to have more and more technology and automations. Due to a shortage of free time, on the other hand, we needed to work long and longer hours for technology. Was it just me or was it someone ridiculous? I just I just couldn't seem to come up with a solution. Then it just happened. After a full bottle of red and dozen of off and on, my kids turned my bedroom light on. I was about to tell them to get back to bed when I realized the light was not on at all. It was the skylight outside, and it was lit up by the day. What the heck? I mumbled, only half awake. I peered out of the window, now curious. There was an intense white light high up in the sky. I tried to make sense of what I saw, but I had never seen nothing similar to compare it to. A massive glowing ball. It almost looked like a full moon, but only bigger and brighter. I watched it as slowly it descended towards the horizon. The glow faded out until the darkness of night once again took the rightful place. My mouth was still gaping at one sight. This is for you, Hannah, Trevor said. I brought sunlight steaming in my window, woke up the next day. I was processing the dream I had the night before when I realized that it shouldn't have been this light yet. The alarm clock must have been broken, I thought to myself. Maya came running in. Mom, the TV won't work, she protested. I flicked up the jug and I passed through the kitchen. No power there. Their power either. The whole house had no electricity. When I went next door to ask Mr. Jones if he had power on still, he answered the door wearing nothing but a towel. His muscular tan something was still dripping out of the shower. As he tousled his hair, I tried to avert my gaze from the bubbling something. Nope, I think it was something to do with the meteor crash down last night. The whole city, as far as I know, he said. Meteor, I thought it was a dream, I said. Oh, it was real, right? All right. I watched it come down, said Mr. Jones. So the meteor hadn't just been a dream. What about Trevor's voice? I wandered back home any days. Can we stay home tonight, Mom? Plead Jacob. I guess we have to. Guess we'll have to, at least until the power's back on, I said. It shouldn't take long. As soon as I would soon find out, I had definitely misjudged the situation very badly. The kids were happy not to be going to school, at least until their phones and iPads went flat. We're going to board, Mom, they chimed on Son. Go, go out and see if any other kids wants to play, I said to the both of them. As they ran out of the front door, I stood there wondering how I was going to get through the piles of dirty laundry. 2 days later, the power is still off. All the food in the fridge and freezer began to smell funny. The unwashed laundry was still in the machine waiting. All the shops were closed. Luckily, my pantry was well stocked with food. Neighborhood kids were happily playing together outside for the first time in years. The robot raccoons were still sitting in the middle of the long living room floor where I went flat. Hannah, I know you can do this. Trevor's voice seemed to be coming in from my voice in my head. For 2 months on, the power is off. Finally, I smelled scrubbing in the kitchen. The offending white goods from the racing cabinets had been moved outside weeks ago. I finally resorted to hand washing the clothes, pegging them outside to dry. This brought back memories, helping my mother peg out of the clothes when I was a child. It had been great bonding time with us. We would talk about everything as we pegged. All the shops had their other businesses were still locked shut. When cars ran out of fluid, we simply abandoned where they stopped. The local kids invented new games to occupy their time. They didn't even seem to miss their devices anymore. Bicycles were now the favorite modal of transportation. I've never seen so many bikes. It seems as far as if everyone had at least one bike in their garage that had been forgotten for years until now. 2 years on, the power's still off. You've all seen those science fiction movies, so I wouldn't bore you with the details of our day-to-day activities. But I will say we all discovered the new true meaning of mentorship of occupation, cooperation, neighbors helping neighbors, people communicating with people, realizing that there is more to life than simple work and money. It seems those with the last, at least, the most likely to share the often the happiest. Hannah, I'm so proud of you. But by now, I was getting used to hearing Trevor's voice. It was soothing to me and made me feel like I wasn't alone. It was now enjoying a wonderful and content of life with my children. I had fun with them. I learned new things with them. I finally knew what was really important. To simply just enjoy life. None of us know what will happen in the future. We should live each day as if it was our last day. But still, I really do miss automatic washing machines / dryers. 6 years later, totally without warning, the power is back on. Hannah, don't go back, Trevor warned. Let me know what your guys' thoughts on that story. I found it really, really inspiring. If you guys enjoy this video, please share it to a family member or friend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.